The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Welcome along to the Real Pod.
Sorry. This is why Jane does it.
Cue music. Kia ora koutou, welcome to The Real Pod. My name's Jane Yee, no longer on Celebrity Treasure Island.
She's back with us.
Faves.
A travesty, a nightmare, a horror show.
But also, I sort of feel like while she was up there, she was a celebrity and on Treasure Island, and we only had like a sort of a hologram. I feel like there was just like you felt you could put your hand through her or something. Now she's back with us where she belongs.
I'm back in the room, baby.
Yeah.
Duncan Grieve, hi, nice to have you with us.
Kia ora, Jane and Alex. I'm very happy to be back. I was really sad to miss last week, particularly the first maths pod, because, gosh, what a season we have. But I'm very glad to be back to talk about this very emotionally charged week on TI.
In case you've missed it, we're also recapping the new season of Maths AU. So just look in your little feed there, your Real Pub feed, and you'll find it. Kia ora, Alex.
Hi everybody. How's it going up there?
She windy.
She windy. We are. We're actually. It's quite a unique situation. We're coming to you from Jason Kearson's bunker. He's been very, very generous in letting us lock in here for the podcast just to keep ourselves safe. And he's doing a lot of "who's laughing now" kind of remarks. But when he delivers us a coffee,
pretty smug.
He is quite smug at the moment.
Is he dressed in full tuatara still?
He's tuatara. Yeah.
That's what you want.
Just drive up. Once you come over the rise, you'll see my glistening reptilian scales, and that's when you know you've hit the right place. This is The Real Pod. It's your reality TV real cap. Real cap.
Real caps. You've got a real cap.
And we are recapping Treasure Island Fans versus Faves Week 3. If you would like to join in any discussion, there are links to the Real Pod Corner on Facebook and also the Discord, which pops off every night the show is on, right there in the show notes. Shall we get into it?
I don't want to get into it. I'm sad, Jane.
I'm angry, Jane.
Snatched up by a very annoying wind.
I'm eliminated,
But
Jane.
also, I guess we should talk about it when it happens.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning of the week. And Alex, if you could lead this, because I've got no notes, I'm just relying on my memories.
Sure. Okay. God, it's so far back. So much has happened this week. At the very start of the week, there was Art realizing he had the power to protect 3.
What a ridiculous...
At which point it became abundantly clear that this show is about boys helping boys.
It is, and it's booked. I think production at the moment that Josh and Art were going up against each other in the elimination last week should have gone, let's just swap out that fancy 3-way immunity with like a stone.
Yeah, well, it's also just this was stacked for the Faves the whole time. Like the fans never sort of chance, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that sending Micah home first drop was not a disappointment, but even still, they had like 3 himbos to your 1. It's just not. None of it's fair.
And our himbo was like 70 kgs. I am going to put my hand up and say I made a mistake. Okay, I didn't send Micah home. I put him into the elimination arena hoping he'd win for us. But B, it was a dumb move and I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry.
And you maintain hand on heart. You thought it was a balance challenge. You didn't.
I
think
thought it was a balance
challenge.
challenge. Exactly, 100%.
And your eyes are both open when you're talking to us right
They're
now?
They're both open.
No winks?
That doesn't mean I'm not trying to wink, but they are both open. And also, in my humble opinion, Josh Crumfeld, fantastic athlete, but I think it was Maddie who won that first challenge for him. He solved the puzzle for him. And,
That's right.
And
He's
Josh
yelling
was
from the
just the
bleachers.
puppet master, the puppet rather.
Anyway, it just felt
Sorry.
rigged. It's felt rigged and stacked against my beloved.
I mean,
Faves.
I'm certainly just going to let you guys go with that narrative because it works in my favour.
It's just an accurate narrative.
It's true in every single way. The edit, the way the games happen, the way the challenges are all catered towards being exactly Art Green or Lance Savali.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like what's
Where
the
are all the
point
puzzles?
of it?
Where are the
There are no puzzles.
endurance hanging, for other bodies and other people that aren't friggin' Adonai.
Well, and also, okay, can I get some intelligence? Skipping a long way ahead. The weighted bags that are attached to a disc that you had to hold with your feet. Same weight all the way around? Okay. Physical 100, a show that we need to talk about,
Yes.
which I'm incredibly up to date on. Did a very similar kind of challenge where you basically had to hold up a plaster cast of your torso plus 40% of your body weight.
Yeah.
And what that did was mean that fucking women were way up near the end, because when you have super long endurance challenges like ultra marathons and so on, women do just as well as men, because that the thing isn't engineered to ensure their failure. Unlike this, it's bad vibes.
As a sort of a loudmouth shorty, I did. I had my seat back adjusted for that one because I've got very short legs. Like I'm 5'2", but I've got the legs of a 4'8". I'm long torso. So
Same.
they did bring my seat forward a little bit for that endurance challenge.
But still, if it had been if Art Green had
Yeah.
to hold up whatever proportion of his own body weight versus yours, different comp.
Totally different comp. I mean, I agree. I totally agree.
Anyway,
Anyway,
What
okay. Do we
happened
actually
in the show?
want to go right back to the start? Because right at the start of the week was when we realized that Alex and Wardy had this little thing going on. She busted in on his interview to reveal another stone of power. I feel like we're just it's raining stones of power this week.
So many stones.
so many stones, so much power,
And
so much indifference from Susan, which I really enjoy.
But I
I
sort of feel indifferent too. I don't know. I feel like maybe there need to be different colors like the Infinity Stones, or there needs to be something. What is it? Is it good,
Well,
Jane? Do you know what's coming?
Obviously, I don't know what's coming because I'm
But
gone
you've
at
got a
this point.
WhatsApp, right? You're talking.
I'm talking, but I'm not telling you anything that's coming up in the WhatsApp. But it was very clear to me when I got my stone that it was something that's helpful in the finale.
Okay.
So it's like the clues from last season, the bits of rope and the, and so on. And my little scroll said, you will have time when you need it most. So to me, that just meant in the finale you get a head start or something, and I don't know. I don't actually know what they meant.
But everyone's got a stone now, don't they?
Yeah, and during the course of the game, though, they're useless unless you're in the top three. It's just a paperweight. And we weren't allowed writing paper, so completely useless.
Beautiful paperweight at that. There was a nice reveal when she revealed it to Wardy, and it said, all will be revealed in time. And Wardy was like, is that in time like time or like time on a clock? It's just like...
I think I know what he was trying to say. He was trying to get too clever with it, and Alex just was like, I just think we'll find out in time.
Yeah. So
but I actually think it's a double. I think he was right to think that though, because given that mine said you'll have time when you need it most, it will be revealed in the form of time as well as in time.
Still, I've got no respect for Wardy.
Oh, Wardy. So yeah, the start of the week was maybe they're going to have this beautiful unlikely alliance. Maybe Alex King's going to start playing hard, but bloody Wardy duffed it all up.
Well, she did start playing hard. It was really cool. And then Wardy just
didn't get a chance.
Runs just the biggest jock sniffing move, over to Lance and Art. And
I hear what you're saying, Duncan, but you have also not been put on an island with Art and Lance before. How would you act? Don't pretend like you would not be so happy to be
Mr.
in that
Cool. Mr. Cool over here. Indifferent. Oblivious to either of them.
I got to say, that I've always been a big Art Green fan, but I found him less intimidating on the island. I mean, physically intimidating totally, but less intimidating as star power than Lance by a long, long way.
Oh my God. No disrespect to Art, but Art was kind of a knob end for most of this week. And Lance he is flying.
Yeah.
Like when he's doing the funny little camera stuff and sneaky steal the rock, and how he was like nice to Katie when everyone was like, just rejecting her. It's just like the loveliest man.
Yeah. And I just was not playing smart. Like, get rid of the weak people. Get rid of the strong people, keep the weak people for the end.
Yeah, keep the weak Jane Yee for the end.
The weak Jane Yee with the tiny legs.
I'm not going to be any competition against you in the final, but I'd love to be there. Too late now.
I don't know. I reckon you would. I get the feeling that Lance is having fun the whole way, but is going to absolutely garrote Art, like one out from the final and just with a big smile on his pirate face.
Behind the scenes info. I think Art Green sabotaged me. You don't see it, but he gave me 7 vitamins and tried to make me swallow them all at once.
What?
What the
and
hell?
I did my best, and then I shat myself.
What?
Not.
This is this is a news report.
This is breaking
Copyright the
news.
spin-off, this information.
I didn't. And when I say I shat myself, I like in the proper place.
Oh.
not just like.
Okay.
Okay, we all do that every day.
No,
Most
but you
days.
know,
But
like
with-
I
like with-
basically,
with
I got
haste.
I got an upset stomach, and I didn't even click that. Of course, it was from all these vitamins, which vitamins don't go near my body at the best of times, especially not when I haven't eaten much of anything for a while, and then suddenly there's 7 massive giant capsules. But that was the day that I went home, and I remember doing that endurance challenge and sitting there with my legs up like that and my bottom facing outwards and thinking, this could really be something.
There's quite a lot of references to potentially shitting your shelf on the island. Is that a constant danger, or is it just that they both were on TV?
Well, I didn't do anything of that nature for 6 days. To the point where they had
That's
to
too long.
give me some things
That's good strategy.
to move things along. But also
Vitamins.
we didn't have a lot of food, and what we did was rice.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the other team. I feel like they were probably pretty regular. They're getting lots of food. We just weren't.
It's just unfair. It's all unfair.
Wow,
I'm like
sabotage.
angry.
It's so shit. It's just annoying. Like, look, we love the show. We love you in it, Jane. But this freaking franchise, once again, just dominated by men, Like, there's this whole narrative about women need to get to the end, but that quickly it's just like disappears from the conversation. Art and Lance certainly don't give a shit about keeping things equal. It just racks me up.
No, and I think, there was, aside from Lance wanting to align with me at the beginning, which was obviously tactical because I was the captain. I don't think he would have otherwise.
He would.
Aside from that, there wasn't really a lot of those dudes approaching women to strike up an alliance. And then you think, you've got Susan Devoy on your team. She is a beast. She is so strong. She is so smart. She is savage. Like, if you needed her to cut something, she'd cut it, or someone.
The way she took down Katie, like after being 2-1 down and seeming like she didn't even want to be on the show, but just couldn't hold back. So
No, that's her. And that's the thing is another behind the scenes tidbit is I thought she was going to throw that.
Felt like she was throwing
She had
it.
murmured a lot about wanting to go home. Everything she said to camera about her team sort of not including her felt quite palpable when we made the merge, and you could see that happening. Like, she basically beelined for me and was like, maybe now someone will finally want to be in an alliance with me. And so I don't think she felt like she was part of her team. And then Josh went home, and then the weather just was like
The weather
really
seemed like
shocking
real
at this
rank.
point. Yeah, it was super rank.
Hey, another question, just not to turn this into a big interview Jane show, but like that the vibe that radiates out of this week in particular was there's a cool group, and then there's a sort of an ancillary cool group, and then there's the
Vibe.
fans.
Yeah.
And it was just and like there were so many not particularly subtle nods at it, and it just was like, oh, like, are you celebrities like so freaking amazing that it's a bit yuck to be around like a dirty, smelly, normal person?
Yeah, and I think that Art was the one who
Yeah, he
really
seems the
propelled
driver.
it. Like, I don't know if he was just trying to be funny and didn't quite deliver on it, but when he was talking about, they've outstayed their welcome, they're like neighbours who've come over.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be.
That's
We
straight
didn't
up
want to be in their
bullying.
camp. Like, we had to leave our nice, comfortable space. We're already the underdogs. We're already losing and haven't eaten, and then we turn up there, and actually, when we first got there, Alex, who I have, I adore, but I will say this, we sort of walked in, then she sort of made comments about like we shouldn't be going through their things, which was like the pantry. And she was like, even though production had kind of encouraged us to go in and look around.
Well, it's all one house now.
But it made us feel like shit. And we all kind of stood outside just waiting for them to come back.
And then with the fact that it's now like one, I mean,
it's not one team.
Well, no, but especially now that it's ended up with like, Wardy as the only fan.
Flare.
Well, I'm also just like, I'm sorry, Wardy. I'm sure he's lovely, but Jesus Christ.
I kind of love the narrative of Wardy. At the time,
So
I think I was
hapless.
frustrated, but I kind of love just his kind of almost Mr. Magoo vibe, like causing all this chaos without meaning to, and then just kind of flubbing his way through. I feel like for a TV show narrative, I kind of like it. For my personal journey, not as good.
Well, they're just mowing through the poor old fans. Like, to have
and that was
4 go in one week.
That was Art's big misstep, I think, is that he kind of fucked up the show at that point by putting me, Anna, and Adam up because A, it was just like the easy thing to do. But B, it just meant, like just sending home 2 fans at that point, it's just not good tally then. It just becomes all about the celebrities. I don't know. It just doesn't make for as good viewing.
Imagine if he had put Lance up, like that would have been the most shocking twist. And he would have been like a game hero,
Yeah. And Lance himself was like, what is Art doing? He should be putting me up. Like even Lance gets that. He's like, I don't want him to, but that's what he should be doing.
But Art's just like, I've made some really good friends here. I hate these stinky fans. God, they reek.
So gross, right? Oh.
I mean, we all reeked.
The vitamins aren't helping. Like that. I want to know how awkward that merge moment was when the celebs came home, because like Anna kind of comes out and goes, hi. Like you were going to be doing this big surprise and it just totally tanked.
Well, I mean, we didn't want to do the surprise.
Okay.
We didn't want to do that.
Was that production? Oh, production.
But I guess how we were probably reflected what happened when we first got there, and Alex sort of said, don't go inside, don't go through everyone's things. It's not respectful. And we all just felt very small and like we didn't belong. And that really set the tone. And then Lance was really good. Much. Lance, when he found out that Alex had said that, sort of came around and was like, this is, mi casa, su casa, like don't worry about it. You guys are more than welcome here and all that. But that was probably where it ended.
He was also, as you mentioned, Duncan, great with Katie, great with like the completely starstruck, overwhelmed little elf that is Katie, who just seemed to be like laser focused on trying to unlock Lance, which sounds like some kind of Scientology thing. And he was like up for it, I mean, I think it was a bit spooked at first.
Yeah, she's super. She's super full on, but once you get to know her, she's just lovely, and it's just who she is, and you just get used to it, and it becomes actually really weird when she's not around. Like when she went home, things got quite boring quite quick. Like she just brought a fire and enthusiasm when we were all like over it from the rain and the lack of food. She was just like this little bright spark that the enthusiasm never stopped. And to be fair, she was, I'm sure she was starstruck, but she was talking to everyone.
Mm-hmm. So it was just the edit. I did wonder about that, like, because the whole thing was like 2 minutes, but the way that they cut it makes it feel like it's like 3 hours of just intense grilling and telepathy claims.
Yeah. Isn't TV mad?
It was also, again, maybe this is the edit, but this is where I started to kind of get the ick about some of our faves. When you saw a bunch of them kind of off being like, is that what she's really like? Like kind of talking shit. And it felt real high school and it felt real weird when I was like, Katie and Lance are the only ones making television right now. Just like, I don't know, it felt a little bit mean.
It did make me, the ick re the faves is 100% how it was. It felt cruel. It felt like there was this really enforced division that almost was like, there are 2 types of people. There are us glamorous, cool celebrities and you freaks, and just please don't come near us. And it, yes, there's an edit, but there were just so many little pieces to that. And then obviously the way that Art behaved and the way that everyone teamed up to get Art the win, and then Art just like threw everyone into mincer and just. It does feel like it's kind of soured me a little bit on this season.
These are the advantages that the Faves have from having been there before, is that they know about things like teaming up. Like we would have just assumed that wasn't allowed, but they just go ahead and push the envelope constantly in face-offs, and we're obviously just thrilled to be there and following all the rules. So, were I to have my time again, I would probably push the envelope a lot more, give it the opportunity.
I mean, you see it all the time. Like when Art was doing, I mean, obviously it got you the W, but when they were doing the smush your face into the challenge, I wasn't even putting his whole lips on there. It's like, well, of course you're going to win.
Completely undeserved win, but take it.
Yeah. Good for the old charity.
Yeah, we had a hug. I can't believe he still put me up after that. It's like, bro, helped you get 10K for your charity.
Yeah. Hello, you're a fan?
5K.
He's a fave?
Well, this is the thing. This is the problem I think Art and perhaps some other people on the team, but mostly Art have. And I'm sorry I'm going in so hard on you, Art, but you said some stink things about us. Is that we are fans of the show. We're not necessarily fans of the people who are on there. Well, that's not to say that we don't like them. It's just that, like, if I were to put together a celebrity team, it wouldn't necessarily be those people, you know what I mean? It
was like they thought that the subtitle should have been celebrities versus stalkers.
Yeah. But it was like, I'm a fan of the show. That's all.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, senior writer at The Spinoff. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Talofa lover, I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spinoff. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spinoff member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Did you have any regrets about coming in too quickly and washing your hands of the alliance with Anna and Adam? Not that I think it would have made any difference, but it did look in the edit like you were very quick to like, we've arrived, I've got my cool mates. Bye.
Okay, so the reason for this is actually much more wholesome than it looks, and that is because I did want to maintain my alliance with Lance because I was there to play, and like a dream of someone who recaps a podcast like this and thinks that Lance is a savant at the game is to be able to play with him. And I didn't want to maintain two alliances and have to lie to my friends. So that was it. Like they don't show it, but Anna and Adam and I were very, very close. And I think they kind of knew that. Like I said to them all the time, like I've got you guys in as much as I can, but only until the individual game comes into play, because I knew that was going to be my opportunity to spend some time with Lance and further our alliance. Didn't quite pan out like that. But even once we were in, I still, like I would never have put Anna or Adam up at any point. Like that, I still had them as friends. It's just that I didn't want to be in a position where I was lying to them because that didn't feel so nice.
It did vibe like that's what you were doing, like that it came from a place of honour, even if Anna was basically seemingly constantly suspicious.
I'm not surprised she was though, because I was, I was always saying to my team, don't trust anyone, including me. But that was my way of trying to help them.
But I feel like everyone just heard, don't trust you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, and they were right not to a degree. But I
thought you played with honour. Can we talk? Because the thing is, we've been quite overwhelmingly negative about the week. Obviously, it ended in both tragedy and travesty, which you don't often see together. And obviously, I want to do some more dwelling on that. But before then, the most amazing triumph.
Yes.
Where you went in against two real strong people on basically a strong person challenge, started off by doing one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in terms of inverting the crockery, and which I think you realised very quickly you had absolutely botched it. But you're just like, well, I guess I just keep playing, and very quickly I'm eliminated. And then you won? What the holy fuck happened there, Jane? Yay.
I don't think I watched it. I think it was a sound strategy.
Well, it paid off.
Definitely wasn't. It looked so crazy on the TV. It was so you were just wobbling.
The country was going, no, Jane.
I stand by it, and I feel like I've got the evidence to prove it.
It's just like when you watch it, like the amount of wobblage versus like the stability of the opposition.
I feel like that might be an edit thing. Like there was a lot of cutting to the people in the bleachers saying, "Oh, James is wobbling," to like put people off the scent, like to make them think that it was going to tumble. They probably were saying, "Oh no, Anna's is wobbling now too," and Anna was taking a really long time to get her pieces.
Was that cheating?
You had to do it within 10 seconds. So she was getting it in within the 10 seconds, but there was a lot of, Anna, you're going to have to put it on. And that must have mentally thrown her a lot, being told that almost, towards the end there, especially every time that she put a plate or a cup or whatever on.
Just what a triumph. Wasn't it a triumph, Alex?
It was amazing. I want to know what is your dish situation at home? What preparation have you been doing here?
They're all stacked obviously upside down on top of each other. It's just how I do it now that I know I can. But no,
it was amazing. Huge tears from me, Jane. I know this is not, I cry at anything, but
I know
it was
you do
amazing.
cry at anything.
Particularly you're just feeling so proud of yourself, saying, I've never been good at anything.
It's true, I'm not good at anything.
I'm good at. Oh my God.
It's such a dumb thing to be good at, but there you go.
But it felt like everything, like it in the moment.
Yeah.
It was. It sucked to have to take out those two. I obviously didn't want to be in the arena with them, but I knew at least then they could leave together and, like fly home together, and that would be a nice thing. And I also knew that they would, even though they'd be so sad to be leaving, that there would be a little bit of like, hopefully some happiness that I was still there. You'd have to ask them, I'm not sure. But there was a calmness that came over me every time I went in that arena that I cannot explain because it is not like me at all. There's an element, I think, when you go on a show like this where you just lean into every experience and give it your best. I know it sounds very cliche, but just going in, I don't know. I think I just always feel like I'm going to lose, so the stakes are super low,
And so you don't necessarily know what you're getting into, right? And most of it's kind of luck, as we'll see with the second puzzle challenge.
But also I had the words of Susan Devoy in my head from Katie from the night before, because Susan had said to us when we got back to camp, she was like, Katie could have had me, but she lost focus. And she was like, so if you end up in that arena, just keep focus. And so as I'm holding on to that paddle and just looking at whatever piece of crockery is at the top, I've got Susie D's voice in my head going, focus, Jane, focus. And it worked.
That's amazing. Can we talk about the blossoming friendship between you and Susie D over like 48 hours? You became besties because we see tiny bits of it in the show and it gets alluded to. I want to know more.
I'd love nothing more than to talk about only that.
It's so gorgeous.
So most of it happened off camera, I guess, is what's the truth there. And it probably wasn't strategic. So even if anything that was caught on camera probably wasn't of much use to the story arc. But Susan and I just got on straight away. We talked a lot about J.O. As his two mothers, his biological mother and his camp mother, and sort of bonded over that. And then, I don't know, I guess just as the older ladies of the group, though to be fair, Jo Cotton's not that much younger than me, but we just felt like the old ladies of the group. And we just got on, and she's funny, and everything that we know to be true from seeing the show is true.
Did she take you sneaking, Jane?
She took me sneaking. So this was the one big thing. Is she did get up, and then she would wake up super early in the morning. She couldn't sleep, and she would go for her walks that would find her down at Vi sometimes. And on my last day on the island, I woke up when she woke up, and I remember saying, "You all right, Susan?" And she's like, "Yeah, just going for my walk." And I said, "Do you want company?" And she was like, Oh, if you want to. And I was like, yeah, I want to. It was pissing with rain, absolutely pouring down. We put on our rain jackets and we put on our sneakers, and we were up to our mid-shin in mud. And we just went for a massive long walk, and we were gone for hours just tootling around. And it was just probably one of the best experiences of my life, walking around in the mud with Susan Devoy. And we're not talking about the game, we're just chatting, It was lovely.
It was so beautiful.
And I came out the back of that, and when I Lance had suggested that he was thinking of putting me up, and at that point I was like, oh, Lance Lance does not love me anymore. Even though he said he wasn't going to. And as soon as he even suggested it, suddenly I was wobbly, you know. I'd lost my best friends. We wouldn't feel particularly welcome. And the rain was terrible.
So psychologically, you were starting
I was quite like fucked that day.
No.
And so I said to her, if I go home tonight, I'm giving you my stone. And
did she go, I don't want another rock.
I know.
I've got too many rocks.
I don't know. She didn't. I think she just sort of said, oh, you won't go home or something like that. And but it was so nice seeing her say to camera something to that effect at one point where she was like, oh, I hope Jane doesn't go home because, you know, I think I might have found a friend here.
Oh.
So nice.
It's very beautiful. And then, okay.
We haven't really talked about any of the challenges or anything, have we?
No. I mean, I have only one question about that mud on the back challenge, which is such a weird challenge. What is the mud? Is it stage mud? It's
stage mud. It has to
weird?
be.
Where did you get stage mud from?
I didn't do it. I wasn't in charge.
Did you look at it in depth? Did you take some?
The first thing I did was stick my hair in it, thinking that would be a good way to get a lot of mud on me. So I was really covered. I was hopeless at that, by the way.
I thought Anna's bra technique would be more successful than it was, but I guess if you've got people cheating with art green, then pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, art is art for a start, and then had like Joe and
Lance not even competing.
Lance wasn't competing at all. He was straight in to help. So by the time we could have sort of caught wind of that and started, like, you don't see it, but Adam and I were starting to help Anna too. It's
a bit annoying that when Susan Devoy goes for like a mistimed walk, they get like a punishment that is literally outlawed in times of war. And then when, you know, Lance is just fully cheating with that, it's fine.
Well, I don't think it was technically cheating. That was the thing. I don't think ultimately it was considered cheating. It's just that they knew that before we did.
I'm just still angry about everything, okay? So don't take any of it too seriously.
Where are we up to in the conversation?
I think we have to talk about the alum.
Okay, you want to just jump straight to the very end?
I do want to jump straight to the very end because eliminations are really full of, like, they are consequential. Like if a charity challenge is almost designed to be like a stupid thing, who cares who wins?
And yet, actually, for us, they're the most significant.
Sure, that's fine.
Which you can see when Katie went home, you know, she's absolutely gutted to have not taken. But the Corns in the Discord have donated. They've come in and they've donated to Inner City Women's Group on Katie's behalf. So that's lovely.
The best people.
The best people.
The best people. They got a shout out. But anyway, like that elimination challenge, like something which on a windy day you'd basically want, it just blows over. Like it shouldn't be arbitrary. Like it should be that it's a result of skill or will or strength or whatever the thing is supposed to be about. And yet multiple times the past couple of seasons it's just been like, well, something happens and now we've just got one fan left.
Especially when those are the only challenges which people who aren't art green can win, you know, like
yes.
Yeah.
These are the only things that aren't reliant on strength.
You could argue that we both were exposed to the same elements and perhaps it would have been smart to build a short tower. But that would kind of go against the point of the actual challenge. But also it wasn't actually that windy. Like that little breeze, I didn't even feel it. Like it came out of nowhere. I know I didn't touch my tower. I was actually looking at Alex at that time because I was like, oh, this is sad. She's about to go home. And feeling like superhuman superpowers as well, like winning 2 eliminations in a row, like putting myself up into the ring to prove my loyalty to Lance and then winning it. And
was it really 2 seconds to go?
It was 3. But the thing that they don't show is that my tower was like that for a full 5 minutes. So they doctored the timing a little bit. But it was so I sat there still as anything for 5 minutes just looking at the top of my tower while Alex was flailing a bit. And that's why she just wasn't even trying because mine had been stood up there for so long and she wasn't making any progress.
There was a part of me that was, when I was watching it, like I was trying to reach through the TV.
I know.
I was like, could you have like taken off a few pieces to make it more stable and less sail-like?
I think I could have tried, but it wasn't worth the risk as well.
Yeah, it was risky. Yeah.
Like it seemed solid as a rock, like it had stood for 5 minutes and then like the most gentlest of breezes came through and it was gone.
That's
and
so
interestingly,
crazy.
watching back, because I was thrown into such a spin when Lance suggested he put me up, and certainly other people were suggesting that he do that, and he clearly was losing trust in me anyway, so I'm sure it was only a matter of time. And especially if I'd won that, there would have been a big target on my back. But seeing that he really wanted Alex gone, which was super harsh for Alex, but he really wanted her gone, I realise now that he wasn't suggesting I go up as a way to try and maybe get rid of me, which at the time I didn't know that though.
Right.
At the time I felt like he's trying to be Mr. Nice Guy about it, but really he wants me and he's prepared to lose me.
Yeah, he wants you to get rid of Alex, but he's not willing to go in himself to get rid of Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he won. He won, and that was his mistake because him and Art were, that's right, neck and neck, leg and leg, and Art went first.
But he should just have put Art up. Like, that's when you start playing the game. Like, he wanted the game to begin. Well, no better way to make the game begin than just put Art up.
And that's what I mean is like, Lance is playing, but he's kind of deploying women as his pawns. And I don't like that.
I never even thought of it like that. He's clever. He's clever. I'll give him that. Whereas Art is probably more overt with his.
Art's just like, these are all my friends. And I actually think Wardy is also a good bloke. Which I'm sure Wardy is chuffed with.
And I think Wardy is a bloke.
Yeah. I've checked. I saw the scene when Wardy was putting things down his trousers. Hey, speaking about Green, what the Bree stuff, is it okay?
What do you mean?
Like, just how, like, intensely she is objectifying him. Like, it vibes fine, but it's quite full on for a television program.
It does make me feel kind of uncomfortable. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about this on Maths, but, there's a lot to be said about that double standard about, objectifying men, sexualizing men. It doesn't necessarily make it okay.
Well, we're just trying to make it even, and then we can all start from a base.
Okay. That's
but it's also like when you're in a game that's like very clearly still playing out the entire patriarchy in real time, it's like I don't know if it's really making any progress. Yeah. But I will say, Jane, when you walked in there, when you said to Lance, put me in, was that because you saw it was a puzzle, or were you going to say that regardless?
I remember so distinctly standing, we have to wait for a few minutes before we walk into the ring. And I remember standing out there. I remember the moonlight. I remember exactly where I was stood, and I can see it now in my mind's eye. Everyone was sort of standing around and chatting in their little groups. And then there was me in my own head, no one talking to me and me not talking to anyone, and just I just felt off. And it's the kind of thing that, like, it's just a bad day for that to happen, because I probably would have woken up the next morning and been ready just like to be in the game again. It just, you change so much, but you're so affected by the elements and all these other things that one day you're feeling like $1 million and the next day you feel like you just want to crawl home. And in that moment, I was just like, maybe I'm ready. Maybe I'm ready. I just felt really lost without Anna and Adam. I felt lost without my people. So there's an argument that I probably should have nixed the alliance with Lance and Maddie and stuck with Anna and Adam the whole time, But hindsight. And I just went in there and I saw that puzzle and I was like, oh my God, for my 12th birthday, I got, and I asked for, because I'm a nerd, an elephant stacking puzzle.
Amazing.
So I was like, I kind of know how this thing works. I mean, it doesn't take a genius.
No, but still, like, I was so proud of you when you, like, your kind of little nerd self when you did that. And you just had great technique the whole way through.
I just felt if I proved myself to Lance at that point that I'd do this thing and kind of put myself on the line, and then if I won it, then, if he wasn't going to protect me before, then that would be one way of it was my last shot, at trying to prove myself to him.
Plus, no matter how much of a, like, horrified at normies person you are, you still can't put the same person up 3 times in a row.
I feel like Art could.
Oh yeah, Art could for sure.
I think Art felt very threatened by me, which is I'm not proud of.
Well, if you're listening, Art, you've got 3 fucking enemies over here.
Is he listening? Nah.
No.
He's busy.
He actually he said that he didn't watch his season after he went off.
But he's still in this one, so maybe he's keen. But again, we're like normies. He probably listens to the official one.
Yeah.
All the nice celebrities. Yeah, I was just so watching your composure, Jane, and it is like I could tell that you were on another plane, like the zen on your face, and then comparing it to like the day before you left when we were racing around the Newmarket Mall. And you were like sweaty and panicking, putting on all this like weird lime-colored resort wear. We were all just freaking out. And I was just so proud of you for seeing how you took to the game and you were just so in it. And I know that there was like a lot to overcome and you getting there. And I just thought it was just a phenomenal performance from you the entire way through.
You.
And that sign off.
The sign off.
The sign
My
off.
God.
I'm so glad they included the sign off.
That was us, Alex.
It was the podmates
and that was
the cornies.
the cornies.
That means like nothing to anyone because they didn't put like I actually talked about the podcast and the cornies and everything a lot, and obviously that means nothing to anyone.
It's not official. It's not official. So
outside of the corner, so it wasn't included. But I do think that it was a little solid.
That was
whoever was story producing that knew what that would mean to us. So thank you.
That was real nice. Quick aside, did anyone else notice that crazy little sort of zoom on Alex King when there was just like this big black around her? It's like 2 frames, but they had this like total edit botch.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
It's just this big just chunk of black space came and they like a picture-in-picture about 2/3 of the screen happened. Or maybe it was just on this. It might have just been on the screen.
I don't know. I didn't notice.
No, because it was actually we were watching it on the TVNZ Plus feed. So this one went out to the nation. So
could it possibly have been cyclone interfering with the internet? I don't know.
Absolutely not. It was also it was a funny little makes you just realize how
how relieved must Alex have been in that moment? She didn't believe it and she felt really guilty because she didn't feel like she deserved the win.
Well, at first she thought you had thrown it, right?
She asked me if I'd thrown it. She was like, "Did you push it?"
She said yes.
Oh, no, but I didn't. I didn't bloody push it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do an art green and like throw, because when he was like, "Oh yeah, Woody won that challenge, but I let him." I was like, "Come on, there's no reason for that." Woody was so proud of himself for winning that, and now
he did a bloody good job with that tall tower.
Good job.
Also, he did bloody win it, and he invented the strategy by having watched it on TV.
Susan Devoy won that very challenge last year.
Yeah, I know.
She forgot.
Was right. And then her new technique was so bad.
I know. She was like, "Oh, I forgot that I won that one."
Just kicked it over. Fuck, Susan's such a fucking G. Like she's such a weird, ornery presence on the whole show. Also, just that aside to her like not feeling great, it was very scary. Yeah, in the throw forward for next week.
Yeah, I'm terrified because I was looking out for her in this kind of supercut of the action to come, and I could not see her. I'm worried. This is the end for Susan Devoy. Maybe it's because her bestie Jane went home.
I think that's it.
Maybe.
Who's to say? I was also very wowed by the fact that the everyone watch your backs grab was from your last moments on the show. That is TV wizardry.
I actually knew that, and the reason I knew that is because if you watch carefully, I was wearing the merge buff, which is the brown buff, not the blue buff, and I was only in the merge for like 2 days. So the only time I was,
It's just a really maniacal thing to do when you've been eliminated from the game and you have got no ability to influence what's happening. Tell people they must watch their backs.
No, not from me though. It was more like I could see that day that people were, like I could see that Lance really wanted Alex out. And also I said other stuff as well. Like there was stuff that was removed that would have given a bit more context.
Still funny.
But yeah. But no, I think it was the last little like psychological, like just throw that out. Just throw that out there, make everyone question everything, and then I'm off. Bye.
Yeah, I've left a little something in your sleeping bags.
Look out for your vitamin pills.
I have 2 questions, Jane, you might be able to answer. First is about the kissing booth challenge. Did they wipe the glass between contestants?
Yes, with sanitizer, yes.
And did it taste? Oh, no, you didn't have a go on it, did you?
I didn't. No, did not.
Must have tasted yucky. Second question, what does Lance Savali keep in that teeny tiny bag of his that he's always wearing to challenges and whatnot?
I don't know. Possibly medication. I don't know.
Where's he going? You got your wallet in there, mate? What are you doing?
Yeah. He's ready to be eliminated at any point, No idea. Maybe some chapstick. Just fashion, baby.
It is fashion, baby. It is fashion, baby.
Did you catch my reference in my actual walking out of the arena? Cook your own barbecue, bitches. Oh, cook your own barbecue. Build your imagine. That would have been a real pod moment if I'd said cook your own barbecue, bitches.
How long were you cooking that one up?
Oh, from the moment I won the barbecue challenge. I was like,
yes.
I wanted to pay homage to JJ Fong. Very few people will remember on the show because she was barely in it. But she said, cook your own rice, bitches, when she left. And it just felt like we'd missed a whole side of her throughout the whole season that she was on.
That's right.
And I just wanted to do a shout out to my sis JJ, who has never met me and doesn't know who I am.
It's a great deep cut. Oh, it was a triumph. It was a triumph of an achievement. The only thing that you didn't do was real pot it, which is
I did real pot it. I would argue that like nearly winning, like putting yourself up for a challenge, nearly winning it and losing it in the last 3 seconds. I swear to God, no offense to Alex, but if I'd had 20 seconds, I would have been able to rebuild higher than her.
Yeah.
But I had 3 seconds. There's nothing I could do.
It's the ultimate real pod.
In fact, I said that to you guys when I came out. I was like, look, I'm out. I real potted my exit. All right, we got to wrap up. I'm sure there were other things that happened. I'm sorry we talked about me the whole time, but we won't be doing that from next week because I don't know what happens as much as you don't.
It's very exciting.
I'm going to keep talking about you. Sorry about it.
Okay. Well, that's fine, I guess. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone who's been on Team Jane and supporting me. I really appreciate it so very much. My time on the island has come to an end. I'm just back in the studio. And I'm just one of you now.
You're just a fan.
I'm just a fan again. Just a fan.
Where you should be.
Do you know what else?
Our fave.
Do you know what I see around me? Fan. Thanks, Samuel, for recording. Thanks, everyone. Remember to listen to our Maths pod too. Bye.
Bye.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spinoff Podcast Network.